Today, we're going to be giving you three starting pitching options for the Yankees that they can acquire at this year's trade deadline.
First up, we have Pablo Lopez. There was a trade in 2022 involved Peraza, Glaber for Lopez and Miguel Rojas, both on the Marlins, that ended up falling through. This is according to Ken Rosenthal. But from that, we get the sense that the Yankees do like this guy and his stuff that he has. He's now currently on the Twins, although, you know, we know that the Yankees like his stuff. I don't think it's out of the picture for them to necessarily target him at this year's deadline. Now, this guy is sort of like a frontline pitcher now. I mean, he's having a great start to the year. His metrics are awesome. So the price is going to be expensive, but I think the Yankees kind of have to make one big move this trade deadline if they really want to go in. I mean, especially if you look at the rotation, it's that's why we're doing this video. It's very iffy. So this guy would cost a lot, but it would be worth it, and we would have him for the next 3 years until 2028.
Yeah, he's making $21.75 million for the next 3 seasons. He's under contract till 2028, but yeah, in 7 games this year is a 2.77 ERA. He's been fantastic. The Yankees have been linked to him for a while. He throws a four-seam, changeup, sweeper, curve, and sinker. Has a really good pitch mix. Like he's only 29 years old. He could be entering his prime. And if you have that with control and Garrett Cole coming back next season, like the Yankees could legitimately build themselves like a superstar
Yeah.
rotation. Right now, the Minnesota Twins are actually in fourth place, Christian, but don't be deceived because they have a 21-20 record. The AL Central used to be just absolutely terrible, and this year it's really, really solid. I don't think the American League is as strong, so maybe the Twins could be in it, and maybe they could be trying to compete. And if that's the case, they definitely would want to hold on to a guy like Pablo Lopez. But with his control and the numbers he's putting up this season, it's going to be a hard ask. It's going to be a hard get, and the Yankees would have to give up a lot. But look, you add a guy like Pablo Lopez in there, you go out Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Pablo Lopez in a series. You got Heel and Schmidt back there. Like you're setting yourself up really, really nice. So we'll see what happens there. Up next, we have Chris Bassett of the Toronto Blue Jays. He's 36 years old, and this season in 8 games, he's pitching to a 3.35 ERA. He has 49 strikeouts and 45 and two-thirds innings. He's an unrestricted free agent, Christian, next season, so only has this year of control. He's making $22 million this year, and he kills the Yankees. Christian, he has a 3-1 record with an ERA of 1.63 and 44 strikeouts and 6 appearances versus the Yankees in his career. He's been a veteran. He's been in this league for a long time. He throws a sinker, cutter, curveball, split finger, sweeper, four-seamer, slider, and changeup. Has a really, really big pitch mix. We know Matt Blake and the Yankees, pitching staff loves pitchers with sinker ballers. He does throw that 42.2% of the time, keeping the ball on the ground. We know the Yankees love that. And the Blue Jays right now, Christian, are third in the AL East at 20-20. So we'll see what happens there. The Blue Jays just locked up Vlad. I think their rotation's really solid. They got Scherzer, Barrios in there as well. And Bassett's, he's 36 years old. So if the Blue Jays are not in it, I definitely think a guy like Bassett would go. And we saw the Yankees trade for a starting pitcher 5 or 6 years ago with the Blue Jays when they acquired J.A. Happ. So I could see the two, making a deal again if the Blue Jays are out of it. And I think he'd be a great fit. He made 30 starts for the Mets in 2022. He pitched to a 3.42 ERA. So he's played in New York and he kills the Yankees. You'd be taking him away from the Blue Jays. Like maybe you go out there with a nice veteran pitcher, get ready for the postseason and go out and get a guy like Chris Bassett.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate it. Next up, we have Sandy Alcantara, and this is a weird one. So last year, he's coming off Tommy John, and to begin the season, he's probably been one of the worst starting pitchers in baseball. Uh, currently on the Marlins. I think he has 2 years left, including this year. And, he's almost actually screwed the Marlins because they have had opportunities to trade him when, obviously he had the Cy Young in, I think, 2022. So, I mean, this guy was at one point a frontline pitcher, and now it is kind of just total uncertainty. However, what that means is his price right now is at an all-time low. And this guy is still young. He's 29 years old, and he was once a phenomenal pitcher. So, Tommy John, obviously that affects every pitcher differently, but we know the Marlins like to trade with the Yankees. They like Yankees prospects. I wouldn't put it out of the question, and this is something that we could see, within the next week. This might not even be a trade deadline thing, but if the Yankees go out and get this guy now, and they fix him or get him back on track to what he was before Tommy John, that could be one of the better trades in Yankees history. If they're
Yeah.
getting a Cy Young pitcher for a this cheap of a budget.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still going to cost a decent amount considering he has the control and it's early on in the season. But look, maybe the Yankees go out and try to buy him when he's low. We saw last year the Marlins traded Luis Ariz, I think like the beginning of May or maybe the end of May. Like they traded him really, really early because the Marlins know they're not going to be contenders. So, like, if they get the right price, they'll ship him off. I think Alcantara could work with the Yankees definitely. I mean, he won the Cy Young 2022. I mean, I know he has an 8.10 ERA, but look, Matt Blake has shown he can fix guys. I think if you add a guy like Alcantara to the staff, it makes things totally different. Like his fastball, I think, sits around like 97 miles an hour. The
Yeah.
Yankees don't have many pitchers in their staff that throw hard. Luis Heel does, but he's injured. Like you could legitimately build like an unbelievable rotation if he figures it out. You would have three legitimate aces like Alcantara, Cole, and Freed. So I think like maybe you try to buy him when he's low. And I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see like if he continues to struggle, what the price will look like. But he's certainly an interesting one. The Marlins are terrible. I mean, they're 15-24. They're last in the NL East. They're obviously not going to compete. But I could honestly see the Yankees getting Alcantara, and he might be the most likeliest guy on the list for the Yankees to go out and acquire. I could definitely see it happening. But with that being said, I think there's going to be a lot of teams trying to go out and get him, regardless of his ERA, because pitching is so hard to come by nowadays, especially guys with control.